Hi kids! Welcome to Titanium Training. I'm your coach, Brian, and we're going to teach you how to work out. Are you ready? Yeah! Let's go! Welcome to the Board of Power. This Board of Power is going to teach you how to be a better human being. I make myself laugh. That's half the fun of doing these videos. It's just making myself laugh. How much fun is that? Anyway, what you guys have going on today is you got 7 exercises. Count them on the board. Don't worry about this bottom part yet. Don't worry about that. It's just 7 exercises. Each exercise, you're going to do 7 reps. Either each or total is actually written out next to the exercise. So you guys know whether or not to do each or total. And you're going to do all 7 exercises for 7 total rounds worth of work. So, how this sequence works inside of this protocol today, what you're going to do is I want you to do 1 exercise, do 7 reps, either each or total. Next exercise, same thing. Next exercise. And you keep going down in that sequence exactly like that until you're done. That's round 1, and then you go back to the top and do the same thing over again, and that's round 2. My suggestion is find yourself a clipboard, a whiteboard, a piece of paper, and a pen. Anything that's going to be able to write down exactly where you're at. Because as a general rule, once we get past about 4 rounds, the average person has a tendency to forget where they're at. That, and with our AMRAPs, we only end up getting about 4 or 5 rounds in worth of exercise. So I'm really trying to push you to go that little bit of an extra mile. And also at the same time doing a strength training protocol at the same time. So the idea is also to use the heaviest weight that you possibly can. Once again, this doesn't mean that you guys are going to be using, like 30 pounds and 50 and 70,000. That part doesn't matter. It's what's heavy for you, because it really is your perception of what heavy is. I always encourage a little bit more than what you're used to, but like I said, if you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. Obviously, I'm not there to do anything. All I can say is just do your best. So, once again, 7 exercises, 7 reps, either each or total, depending on the exercise, and then it's 7 rounds of all the exercises. Once you guys are done with that, then we're going to stop. We're going to take a second, and then you guys are going to do 2 exercises. Each exercise you're going to do for 90 seconds or a minute and a half, just depending on how you like to look at it. The first thing you're doing is touchdown squats for 90 seconds. The next thing you're going to do is the Superman for 90 seconds. As always, after this initial aspect of the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to show you guys how the exercises look with and without weight. For that fun and frivolity, just give it a couple of extra seconds. We're going to do the little quick like slide or switch or kick or punch or stab or whatever in between these aspects of the videos, and then go from there. Thanks for watching, and let's go. Alright guys, let's take a quick second and thank each other, pat each other on the back for doing a good job this week so far. I know it's only Wednesday, but we made it this far, so that means we're doing good. So, let's talk about your exercises for today. Follow me. So, first things first, inside of our 7 exercises, and because there's no breakup in between sections other than the first section and the finisher, this is going to be a somewhat long aspect to the middle part. So the first exercise you guys are looking at is the walk-over push-up. Now, with the walk-over push-up, usually what I have is I have an object where your one hand is stationed and then your other hand is stationed on the floor. So you can use a step, or you can use a couple of books, or you can use a ball, or you can use a nightstick, I mean, whatever. Just the idea is to put one hand on one thing and then one hand on the ground. And then what you're going to do is you're going to push up. Oh, let me do it on the ground. Show you. So you're going to push up, walk your hands over, not your feet, and then push up again. If that's too hard on your toes, you can always do it on your knees. So, also with that, if you can't do it on the ground, that's okay. Find yourself a bench or a chair or a couple of chairs. Or like I said, honestly, try to find a bench or a couch because it's much, much longer. So what you can do then is you can do a push up here, walk your hands over, and then push up. Remember, all you're trying to do is walk your hands over, don't walk your feet over. So that's kind of the purpose of that exercise. Now let's talk about exercise number 2. So, with exercise number 2, what you have now is a single arm kettlebell swing. You can do this with a dumbbell too. It looks and feels a little silly, but you can do it because it's the same motion. You're just doing one side at a time, so you're not trying to catch it at all. You're just trying to force balance into one end while moving an object outside of your specific space. So that's all you're really trying to do. And the idea is, like I said, put one hand on your hip. There you go. One hand on your hip. The other hand with something in it. Let's put something in my hand. Oh yeah. Let's do that. So, like I said, one object in the hand, and then the other hand on your hip, just so you know where to put your other hand. So hand on your hip, hand on the object, whatever it is, and then you're just going to swing. Swing, swing. From the side. Swing, swing. Notice how my hips are going back, and I'm not just bending over and standing up. It's all about your hips going backwards and then your hips going forward while bracing your abdomen. So if you don't have anything, like I said, if you don't have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, you can use a dumbbell. If you don't have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, grab yourself like 3 or 4 kitchen bags, those Publix bags, you know, the plastic bags you give. You guys know. You guys, if anybody goes grocery store, stutter store, and if you go to the grocery store, you guys know that you guys can get like 3 or 4 of those bags. Put like a gallon of milk in it, and like some whatever. Just put some stuff in it to give a little bit of weight, not too much though. And you're gonna do 7 on one side. You're gonna stop, and then do 7 on the other side. If the single arm is too much for you, then what I want you to do is what's called a suitcase deadlift. So what you're going to do, we'll show you from the front, and with the suitcase deadlift, it's just whatever implement is on one side and you're going to deadlift. Remember, keep your stomach tight, just like that. From the side, same thing, pushing the hips back, whee! Hips back, hips forward, just like that. 7 on one side and then 7 on the other side. And for the suitcase deadlift, you can actually get a real deal suitcase and do the same thing. Fill it with shoes and clothes and whatever you need in order to be able to carry it. There you go. Training you to carry your baggage. That's an inside joke. Enjoy that. If you want to know any more about that inside joke, I'll tell you about it. Just give me a call. The next thing you guys have after that is the 2-point row. So if you have a suitcase full of all kinds of fun baggage, what you're going to do is you're going to take that same suitcase or Publix bags or whatever you want to take, Winn-Dixie bags, not to be, I don't want to be grocery storist. That would be, is that a word? I don't know. It's not a word. But anyway, I don't want to falsely represent anybody. But what I want to do say is, like, anytime you put a bag with a bunch of stuff in it, that's what you're going to use. And then you're going to have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. You're going to start with your hand at the knee and then bring your hand into the hip, back and down, 7 on one side. Remember, with the bag, trying to make it as heavy as you can handle, okay? It's not about what Martha or Jim or Stephen or Stuart or Emily or Shelly can handle. It's what you can handle. That's what matters, guys, because #you matter. So, and then you're going to do 7, bang, on the other side. Very simple, very straightforward. If it's too much to stay upright like this without putting your hand on something, put your hand on the bench or on a chair and then row. Seriously, put your hand on the bench. My hand's off screen. You can't tell if I have a bench. And then you row just like that. This way what you're doing is you're putting the pressure on your feet and on your hand in order to prevent yourself from being injured over time. So, once you're done with that, it's time for the next exercise. Ta-ta! So, here's what you guys got going on. So the next thing you guys are going to do is a skater. So here, let me put down the weight. Whoop, shook the camera a little bit. Sorry about that. The next thing you guys are going to do is a skater. So with the skater, you're going to start off 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So here, we'll show you from the side. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And then the idea is you're not in a lunging position. What you're doing is, like I said, that's from the side. Now you can see from the front, that 1 foot is actually behind the other foot. And then what you're going to do is you're going to sidestep, slide, sidestep, slide, sidestep, slide. Back and forth, 7 on each side. If that's too much to take on the hips or anything, the next thing that you can do, same thing, step, step, step. Just like that, 7 on each side. Excuse me. Next exercise on your list today is stability ball rollouts. I'm going to show you with the stability ball and then some alternate things that you guys can do without stability ball. Because I know some people don't have it. Some people call it a Swiss ball. Some people call it like all kinds of different stuff. What I call them is stability balls. So what you guys are going to do, I'm going to get the, here, let's get this one after that. So, with this stability ball, what you guys are going to do is first, you're going to bring it to wherever you're at. And then the next thing you're going to do is putting your elbows on the ball, putting yourself in a plank position. So, let's get far enough back so you guys see what I'm talking about. So, what you're doing, elbows on the ball. Now you're going to tuck your butt in, squeezing your stomach, and it's just moving your elbows back and forth. One tip I usually give people is use your thumbs as a guide. You start at your chin, and then go to your forehead. Chin, forehead, chin, forehead. And you do that 7 times. If you don't have a stability ball or a Swiss ball at home, that's cool. Don't worry about it. You can use several other things, like if you have like a rolling chair, like a desk chair or something like that. You can use those too. They work exactly the same way. They're a little bit more unstable, so I wouldn't completely suggest using them unless you have really good core stability and foot stability and all that. So maybe let's scratch that. Let's not do that. So what I want you to do is a plank with a forward reach. So what you're going to do is you're either going to get on the ground or put your hands on a bench, and all you're just getting yourself in the plank position. And while holding the plank position, just reach forward, reach forward, reach forward, 7 on each arm. This way it kind of gives you that same action where you're having a stable core and then you're making it unstable by reaching forward as far as you can. Once you guys are done with that one, then we move on to the next exercise. The next one is the tactical lunge. I'm going to get my little implement back out. Excuse me just a second. So, now that I have the implement back out, what you guys are going to do here with the tactical lunge, the first thing you're going to do is hand with the weight is the foot that goes back. So you're going to step back into a reverse lunge, bending down as far as you can comfortably. Then you're going to swap that kettlebell underneath the front leg, and then you're going to stand up straight. Now that the kettlebell is in the other hand, use that other leg to step back, squat down, switch under the front leg, and then stand back up straight. That's from the side. This is from the front. Bang, 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 bang. Just like that. If that's too hard to do, that's okay. Don't. Seriously, if it hurts too much to do something, just don't do it. Okay? Here is an alternate that you can do. So figure eights. Through the leg, and then stand back up. Through the leg, and then stand back up. If that's too much to do, windmill. Hand with the weight, turn your feet, bend, and snap. 7 on one side, switching it out, 7 on the other side. Now that you're done with that, and those different versions, the next thing I want you to do, and the last thing inside of your 7 exercises, is what's called a half kneeling low to high chop. So, the idea is you're going to have one knee on the ground and one knee up. So as you can see from here, the idea is you're going to start, knee that's on the ground is the hip that you start with, and then you're going to come up and back down, up and back down 7 times. Switching it out, as you can see from the front, same thing, 7 times. From the side, show you from the side, you can see where I'm like giving a little bit of stretch to my hip, activating the glutes a little bit, making this stable. So hip and up, 7 on one side, 7 on the other. And that's your 7 exercises. You're going to do those 7 exercises, 7 reps, either each or total, depending on the exercise, 7 rounds. That's it. That's the simplicity of the first section. Once you get done with that, then we'll move on to the finish. You're strong to the finish because you eat your spinach. Yep. Now it's time to finish. Now that you guys have done everything else, what I want you to do is you can either set your timer for 90 seconds or a minute and a half, whatever your timer decides to do. Most timers you can just punch in 90 and it'll give you the minute and a half. If not, that's okay. Punch in for a minute and a half, and that's what you guys have going on. So for 90 seconds, what you guys are going to be doing, the first exercise is the touchdown squat. So the touchdown squat, what you guys are looking at, start here, feet between hip and shoulder width apart, and just like a jumping jack, you're going to hop out like a jumping jack, but when you hop out, you're also going to squat down at the same time. And then you're going to stand up, hop back in. That's the slow version. Let's do a regular pace version. So, hands on your hips, ready, let's go! Out and down, up and in, out and down, up and in. Touchdown squat. Super simple. Now, if you can't do that, like you can't do the jumping aspect of it because of your knees, hips, back, whatever the case is, that's okay. You guys can always step out, squat down, stand up, step in, step out. Same thing. You're getting exactly the same motion, same movements. You're just doing it without the actual high impact aspect of it. And if you guys can't do that part without a bench, that's okay. Find a chair, find a bench, and you can still walk out, sit down on the chair, and then stand back up, walk in, walk out. Same thing. Now, doing that for 90 seconds should have gotten your heart rate up just a little bit. Now what you're going to do is the Superman. So, with the Superman, what you guys are going to be doing, you guys have seen the cartoons. Most of us have seen the cartoons, not everybody. Don't mean to be elitist, because I know what Superman is, or assume that everybody's seen it, or heard about it, or whatever the case is. But here's the thing. Just imagine somebody flying through the sky. What would that look like? So, while you're laying on your stomach on the ground, while flexing your lower back and your shoulders, you're going to hold this in place for 90 seconds. That's your goal. Just hold this right here for 90 seconds. That's it. I wish I had an alternate, but I really don't, because this is about as simple as it gets, honestly speaking. And that's okay. Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. MIC, see you real soon. KEY, why? Because you want to. I don't know. That's it for your workout program for today. That's all the video time that I have for you guys. After I've edited it, put it all together, as always, I want you to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. Enjoy the videos. I'm going to keep pushing them as far as I can possibly go. I'm going to keep being as silly as I possibly can, and I'm going to try and make exercises fun and as entertaining as I think it should be, because at the end of the day, all the exercises are roughly within the same 5 to 10 planes of motion. We're all human beings. We know how to do them. But sometimes we just need it to be a little bit more entertaining than normal to allow us to continue to pursue what it is we're looking for. So with that, I love you guys. I'm having a great time entertaining everybody. I'm having a great time taking what I know and giving it to you. Please feel free to continue to enjoy all of these videos and whatever future videos that we have. And once again, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and share all these things on all your social media platforms. Tag us, tag a friend, tag your mom, tag them, tag anybody you want to tag, let them know what you're doing, and then tell them to come see what we're doing here at Titanium Training LLC. You guys have questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to hit me up on any one of our social media platforms, or via email, or via the phone number that you've been given in order to get this video directly to you. Thank you guys very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.